Hi everyone, I'm Ben, and this is the Board Game Blueprint. This week, we're going to be taking a quick look at game upgrades, what they can offer, and maybe even how they can enhance or elevate a game. So let's jump on over to the table next door and see what we have in store. I dare say some of the easiest game upgrades available are going to be special tokens that are, thematic or just evoke the world of your game even more so than maybe what's included in the standard game. And that's where the game crafter, really shines, that people can create their own assets and have them available for others to order. In this case, one of them is going to be these scoring tokens that were designed for Seasons by Game Garnish. So thank you so much. I picked these up because they looked really cool and energetic. When I take them out of the bag, or I maybe won't for these ones just because I like the count of them that's in there already, have like electricity arcing through them. And so these are sort of crystals, but when I first saw them, I thought that maybe they were energy or fire of some kind, or like crystallized energy and such. But this particular product on the Game Crafter has 4 different denominations. We have 1s, which are super small. We have 5s, which are a little bit larger. We have 25s, which are larger still and in a different color. And then finally, we also have 100, which is the big bad, as it were, in the darkest green, almost like a Godzilla kind of color. So as it turns out, the prototype that I am using these for has to do with giant monsters and kaiju. So to me, all of them were perfect for using. And though it might make the game a little bit more fiddly, there is something definitely to be said about being able to exchange all your little tokens for much bigger ones, either during the game, throughout the game, or even at the end for final scoring. I'm a big fan of these, and definitely feel free to give them a look on the Game Crafter game upgrades if they tickle your fancy for your own work in progress or even a published game. Next up is another custom punch-out component, and this one is to upgrade any totally radical kinds of games that you might have. These are shell trackers, and I thought I'd kind of assemble them more or less on camera here just to show off that they can be not just tokens but also used in a variety of other ways. So I have right here a damp towel or paper towel that I wetted like kind of 1/2 of and then just folded in half thusly. And let's go ahead and punch these out and wipe them down to assemble these bad brothers. So as we saw when we first started, there is a nice little label here warning us about the soot, and as we can see, there is plenty to show off. But the other cool part are these rivets, which are 2 parts, and when they put together, or when you stick them together, allow you to spin certain chipboard components. And as it turns out, there's actually room for 3 different layers. And at first, I thought that maybe these dials were going to be 3 layers, but as you can see, they work just fine with even the 2. And we have a cute little window here. So all of that was mathed out by AD Shroom. So thank you so much. And these are just absolutely amazing. I was afraid that the colors were maybe off at first in terms of our favorite brothers here, but as we can see, they are all accounted for. Just make sure, yeah, that you wipe down before use or after assembly, as we have these kind of sooty fingers to maybe worry about. A little bit more sewer ready, I guess. Bad. That was not my best. But of course, use cases for these would be, you know, thematic for any sort of teenage mutant ninja turtle sort of game, whatever that might be, a prototype of your own design that you're designing for fun, or maybe a published game by a company like IDW or some such, and wanting to upgrade or have a little bit more thematic of a component, which is just really fun for me to immerse myself even further into the theme. And when you break these out, everyone's going to be amazed at how tactile this scoring system is compared to another type, like the tokens. Maybe. And you may have picked up over a few of the other videos how much of a fan I am of Dungeons & Dragons, especially over the last few, well, many months. And something that really catches my eye, or that caught my eye, I should say, is the deck of silly things. And I can't wait to incorporate this into my own campaign that I started earlier, well, last year. This is designed by BJ Hypes, the Ridiculous Blacksmith. And I'm gonna go ahead and just unbox it right here for the first time, just to see what is in store. And we have these goofy kinds of items that you might throw into, again, yeah, your adventures for your players to find. For instance, the Lawyer in a Can is a wondrous item, and it is rare, so watch out on that. Some backstory, of course, about the Deck of Silly Things. It's a parody of an in-game canonical kind of inventory item called the Deck of Many Things, and this deck is cursed, generally speaking. The idea is that when you draw from the Deck of Many Things, you could have some kind of awesome, amazing effect bestowed upon you, or, which is more generally likely, some kind of awful, catastrophic sort of beleaguerment or impediment, something like that. And so for this case here, in a much more paradoxical or satirical fashion, these giant jumbo cards, which feel so great in hand, have a series of items designed, of course, by DJ Black? Was that their name? Oh gosh, BJ Hypes, sort of close. The Ridiculous Blacksmith, making these ridiculous items that have a multitude of uses. I want to say that most of them are going to be wondrous items. The Armor of Plots. Oh boy, here we go. Probably some kind of MacGuffin idea here. The Book of Plot Twists. There we are. And let's go. Oh, here's a something. The Sword of Pack. Ooh, a rare and wondrous item. So all of these are really cool. We have, yeah, weapons and armors, seal of approval. Classic stuff here, everyone, which are going to be adding a whole nother layer of hijinks and fun to your games. So the Horn of Leroy, yes, naturally. I think one of my players is going to love this one, so hopefully he doesn't watch this video before I manage to weave it into the story somehow. The Pants of Parachute, I am digging that. Some 80s throwback here. Does it have anything to do with MC Hammer? Maybe that's who they'll belong to, is the MC Hammersmith or something like that. So a lot of fun here, and the backs of the cards, of course, are unforgettable, just like the box is. Really great for flavoring and enhancing, I hope, a game of your choice. And of course, these could be incorporated or implemented into not just RPG styles, but maybe even you could make a game around them. I'm sure that the ridiculous blacksmith, BJ Hypes, would be super into the idea, as long as, yeah, you let them know, of course, too, so that people can really appreciate the original as well as your own game there. And the last thing I have to kind of show off is sticker dice. Now, we have seen this component before in Scary Monsters, the little marriage episode that I did in a design discussion previously on the show, I believe, but I wanted to point out how sticker dice can also be used as a game upgrade. So in the game Zombicide, in this case Green Horde, the game comes with some rounded D6, and they're bright red, which is really awesome and great. This was on Kickstarter, and so there was an option to get special dice as an add-on, which had a special, I think, zombie head and torch face on the dice for the 1s and 6s, either respectively or flip-flop, something like that. But because this game is about the Green Horde, or a bunch of orcs that have been zombified, I thought it would be kind of cool to have, yeah, a custom sticker dice set available for those who were interested. And so I went ahead and tried, well, to replicate as much of the aesthetic as possible here. So I kind of emulated their torch icon, which again can be found on their regular engraved dice in their various colors. There was like a bone, there was like a black, and there was maybe like another red or something like that. But what I also did was turn their zombie logo into something that looked a little bit more orcish. And let's see if we can get this to zoom in, yep, and focus. Oh, too far. There we go. Almost there. And so yeah, I had a lot of fun trying to kind of warp this profile or this 3/4 face into something that would be sort of custom and neat, a little bit more relevant to the game, being green and such. The sickly green and then this kind of marbled green. If you look really close, I try to get some kind of, texture on these stickers, but I think maybe it's just a little bit too small to notice. However, maybe these game upgrades can be upgraded even further into etched custom dice that are available on TGC at some point. I don't believe they have green as a base color of those dice just yet, but I can always go with the full color print and just make them try to get everything as green as possible. I think the edges might show for whatever color of the die is underneath, but hey, definitely worth a shot because yeah, these are nice and chunky as well. A little bit larger than the 16 that are included. I think these might be 18 or even 20 millimeters, which allow for maybe a little bit less rolling as well, but you can't beat just the sound of these chunky things hitting the table and revealing whether or not you were attacked by a zombie or if you got a successful hit on one instead. So sticker dice can also be great game upgrade components. And that is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what can be maybe replaced or improved with game upgrades. Materials, all sorts, really just limited by your creativity and imagination. There's so many things that didn't get to look at, including possibly special upgrade cards or tokens that were not just punchboard, but I hope you get the idea. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and click that bell icon so you can stay notified about when the next video goes up. As always, I'm Ben. This has been another episode of the Board Game Blueprint, and together, let's build something great.